So determine the current in the 5 ohms resistance. Determine the current in 5 ohms resistance in the network given below. In the network given. So this network is So this is the network it was given. So in this network actually there is one voltage source of 50 volts and 10 ohms resistance, 5 ohms resistance connected here, and there is a 2 amperes current source is there, and this is 3 ohms and this is 2 ohms and this is 1 ohm. So he asked us to find out the current in this particular 5 ohms resistance. So I will give you 5 minutes time, you try to solve it, then I will solve it afterwards. Make it fast. So here actually the current sources and voltage sources actually you need to take care clearly. That is, suppose actually if you take one loop like this, so there is one loop like this, and then actually there is one more loop current like this, and there is one more loop current like this if you take it. Then this is I1 and this is I2 and this is of I3. Now 3 equations actually you can form, but out of those 3 equations, so as there are 3 different variables or the 3 different currents that are present, hence actually you have to form 3 different equations. And out of that equation actually you need to consider the super mesh because there is a current source that is involved in it. So wherever the current source that is involved, you eliminate that particular branch so that actually you can form a super mesh. So this is, if you write the KVL for this particular equation, in this particular resistance, there is a 10 ohms resistance here. Actually, the current is passing through like this. So this is how actually we have taken the loop. And I2 is passing above. Hence, actually 10 times of I1 minus I2 is the voltage drop across this particular resistance. And in this resistance, 5 ohms resistance, so the current actually I1 is passing through down and I3 is passing through up. So I1 minus I3. And this is the voltage drop across these two. This should be equal to 50. So this is actually equation number 1. Right, so this equation after simplification, this is going to be, so 10 I1 minus 10 I2 plus 5 I1 minus 5 I3 is equal to 50. This can be written as, so 15 I1 minus 10 I2 plus, minus 5 I3 is equal to 50. This is equation number 1, right? And the second equation is, so you can form one super mesh. So that super mesh is actually, you can form this particular super mesh like this. So in this super mesh, actually the voltage drop across all these entire resistances that are involved, 2 ohms, 1 ohms, 5 ohms and 10 ohms. So that should vanish out to be 0. So then actually the current that is passing through this 2 ohms resistance is I2. So then this is going to be of 2 I2. And the current that is passing through this 1 ohm resistance is I3. So that is plus I3 times of 1. And the current that is passing through this 5 ohms resistance, I1 downwards and I3 upwards. So I3 minus I1 times of I3 minus I1 times of 5 plus. So here actually I1 is passing through down and I2 is passing through up. So as you are moving the loop from down to up. So I2 minus I1 times of 10. And this value should be equal to 0. So this is the second equation. So if you simplify this equation, this is 2I2 plus I3 plus 5I3 minus 5I1 plus 10I2 minus 10I1 equal to 0. This can even be written as, so 2I2 and 10I2. So this is 12I2. So minus 5I1 minus 10I1. So minus 15I1 plus, so 1I3 and 5I3. So this is going to be of 6I3 equal to 0. So this is equation number 2. So we have got the second equation. And the third equation is actually this equation. If you notice, 2 amperes current source is actually, it is going from right to left. So this current actually I3 is actually going from left to right, and I2 is actually coming from the, so right to left. Hence actually I2 minus I3 should be equal to 2. So I2 minus I3 should be equal to 2. So we have got 3 different equations involving 3 different variables. You can solve these 3 variables and then actually you can get the value of the current I1 actually we wanted to calculate. So the current actually that is passing through this. So 5 ohms resistance, which is equal to I1 minus I3. That is the value of the current actually that you have to calculate. So I1 minus I3 value, this is coming out to be 4.66 amperes. Got it? So for that actually if you solve these equations, I1 value, I think, so it will come as I1 is 19.99 and I2 value is 17.33 and I3 value is 15.33. So 15.33. So in total actually, so I1 minus I3 value actually will come out to be 4.66 amperes. Got it? So the voltage drop, if you want to calculate, so that is actually what you have calculated, that is, so 70 by 3, that is correct. Got it?